What's going on? What's going on, fam? This is Chris with Food for Your Thoughts. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We're back. And I hope you've really been taking care of yourself and really doing your own research, learning more about yourself, learning more about your life path, your personal year, month, day number, getting yourself, back into balance, tuning back into yourself, into source, right? And that's what it's all about. But if you clicked on this video at a very special time, you were led to this video at a very time, there are no accidents or coincidence. But in this video or this presentation, I'm gonna give you, some additional tools that you really need that can transform your life, really from the inside out. And then in the same process, you'll be able to help a lot of people along your journey. So it's all about sharing your knowledge and wisdom with people. I must, say that, mention that, first and foremost, but be sure to get these books that I have available. I'm gonna include them in the description down below, but the ones you see on the screen, The Water of Life, by John W. Armstrong, The Chemistry of Life, The Tree of Life, The Wonders of the Human Body, is basically the works by Judge George W. Carey. And then the simple guide here on the screen, a simple guide to using homeopathic cell salts, homeopathic cell salt remedies, healing with nature's 12 mineral compounds. All right, this book, and also get this book, relation of the mineral salts of the body to the signs of the Zodiac, George W. Carey. And I'm going to include some additional references down below to get your brains really percolating. But be sure to get these books if to really empower yourself along your journey. Because remember, at Food for Your Thoughts, it's all about doing your proper research and pointing people to a reference or some kind of source, right? Because there's no need to debate when, we can use information so we can enlighten each other. And that way we can really see each other's perspective, see things from other people's perspective so we can meet them halfway, because there's always a neutral point. Okay. So at the end of the day, don't waste, energy on stuff that really is not even worth it. Okay. That's all I'm saying. All right. But make sure you review things at least 3 times. But these books will really help answer a lot of those questions that you've been seeking, along your entire journey. And you'll be able to synthesize these new concepts, ideas, and information and really utilize them in your life. Okay. But I'm going to include these books down below. But be sure to click the like and subscribe button down below as well. And then, part of my, my mission, I'm here to help you level up, raise that frequency vibration, share some new information or information that may be new to you, or, you may have seen this information before, but I'm just showing you things from a different perspective, if that makes sense, like I just mentioned before, right? But again, by now, you should have some kind of working knowledge, about yourself. You should have learned a lot about yourself, especially if you're using your life path, these personal year numbers, because each individual person have their own biorhythm. And that's all we're about here, with Food for Your Thoughts, is just, showing, getting people, tuned up and tuned back into themselves so they can be in alignment with the universe, the cosmos, so they can really get things going and running. Okay. And that's what it's all about right about now. But remember, there's no cookie cutter recipe to life. It's all about trusting your own intuition, doing your own research, and really, use these presentation as a tool and as a guide to really get you to the next step so you can figure things out for yourself. All right. And that's what it's all about. How you gonna learn anything if you don't, really do things and experiment on your own. And that's what life is all about. So, but again, we're back with this new series. It's all about zodiac health, and we're doing things by the number. So this is pretty much your introduction, and I'm gonna give you some proper expectations to have along our journey together. All right. But so far we learned, especially with the life path numbers, and and your personal year, month number, you really learn a lot about your outer world, the outer version of you, your outer reality, right? In this series, we're really going to focus, we're going to tie things together. Remember, as above, so below, as within, so without. So we're really tying all of these things together and really showing you the true interconnectedness of everything, okay? Everything's interconnected, in this universe. All right. And we just scratching the surface level, but I just want to show you, give you my rendition, my sharing, my experiences with you, and just give you a different point of view. Okay. But use this lesson again as tool and as a fuel to really help yourself, help yourself first. That way you can pour the knowledge that you gain into the lives of others. So let's go from top to left, top to bottom here. you know Top left, biochemistry equals, life chemistry. So disease is a deficiency in some of the chemical constituents that carry the chemistry of life and not an entity. Treat the root cause, not the symptoms. George Carey. Okay. What's more expensive to you guys? Books with information so you can put things together on your own from home, not wasting time and energy, you know, and just inconvenience yourself, that can really help you versus or a hospital bill, taking time away from work, school, you name it, gas, right? And then don't forget you got to pay the people. So in other words, we it's all about taking things back into our own hands and really doing self-care, self-love, and treat the person and not the symptoms, right? So, and that's what it's all about, guys. But again, this series is all about maintaining, balanced health by using your birth chart and numbers. And the blood is the life, and without perfect blood, health is impossible. And remember, your thoughts, belief, words, emotion, actions equal your reality and your results. Okay. But in this series, we're gonna, really approach each signs, step by step by the numbers, like we have here, right? And we'll talk about each sign. We'll talk about the actual mineral salt that's, attached to that sign. We'll look a little bit at the emotional, which is the inner, the physical level, which is the outer, right? For each sign. And then I'll share some experiences with you, that I had along my journey testing out these different theories. It's all about testing things out to see what really worked, what doesn't work. And you guys can do the same thing. And we can synthesize these ideas together and really help a lot of people faster, better, right? So, but the blood is the elixir of life. Blood is is to the human body what the soil is to the plant. It is common knowledge that poor, exhausted soil will produce only weak, sickly plants. In the same way, poor blood lacking in the essential constituents will produce weak, sickly bodies, prone to disease. By enriching the soil, right? The ill-conditioned plant can, be made to recover and flourish. Now, the recovery of the ailing human body can be best achieved by a similar process by restoring the blood, constituents in which it is lacking, right? This is biochemistry, the chemistry of living tissue, and also life chemistry, the chemistry of life. So again, be sure to get these books. The Water of Life, A Treaty of Urine Therapy by John W. Armstrong. George W. Carey Works, 3 books in one: The Chemistry of Life, The Tree of Life, The Wonders of the Human Body. This one, A Simple Guide of Using Homeopathic Cell Salts, by Nige Lennon and Lionel Roth. And then also to really follow along with this book with the chart with these salts, and it's relationships of the mineral salts of the body to the signs of the zodiac. George W. Carey. This guy's pretty pretty damn good. Okay. But again, let's talk a little bit about what to expect along this journey here, guys. So, but I it would be remiss if I don't give a shout out to Dr. Schessler, and you'll do some research. I have some additional information down below, but do your own research on Dr. Schessler. But half a century after this one doctor, Dr. Hahnemann, revolutionary discoveries, Dr. Schessler, basically was practicing homeopathic medicine in the village of Oldenburg, Germany. He's a, brilliant man. Dr. Schessler had mastered Greek, Latin, and Sanskrit, as well as English, Italian and Spanish, and had read widely and, in the medical literature, those languages. But from almost the beginning of his career, he had worked to simplify the more than 2,000 remedies of the homeopathic materia medica, repertory of medicines. That's what that means. Dr. Schessler was influenced by the pioneering work of Dr. Randolph Virchow. Now, the father of the modern pathology, Dr. Virchow, theorized that the disturbances, thought as disease are actually signs of change in cell metabolism. Now, based on this idea, Dr. Schessler became further convinced that the active ingredients in most successful homeopathic remedies were actually inorganic. His research led him to conclude that when the human cell is reduced to ashes, there are only 12 mineral salts, guys, that are left. Now, taking this theory of a minimum dose into account, Dr. Schessler reasoned that the lack of these minerals, in the living organism, which is our body, will keep the organism, the organic minerals from entering the cells, which in turn prohibits the cell from performing their natural functions. Thus, he suggested that these 12 minerals be taken in homeopathic doses in order to regulate the individual cell function, guys. And that's a backdrop when it comes to, as we go through this series here. But just to talk a little bit about the cell salt, but, why are these things necessary, with each sign? But these cell salts are necessary when, cells are really lacking in certain nutrients, creating a cellular imbalance. And in a very real sense, when you take a cell salt remedy, you're supplying the micronutrient that enables your body to rebuild itself on a cellular level. Okay. So let's talk about health on a cellular level, okay? Now, each individual cell in your body is a marvelous organism that normally selects or rejects substances to maintain health. When disease or irritation is present, the cell loses the ability to regulate its processes. Thus, weakened cells must receive the minerals they need in, tritated form but bypassing the digestive system, is necessary to overcome cells, inability to absorb nutrients from the digestive system. So it might seem strange to think of health as being, determined by such a microscopic process, but this is definitely the case, guys. Now, one biochemist made a fascinating microscopic film showing how a small amount of poison, 1 part in 1 million, which is very tiny, okay, quickly went to work destroying cells. Seeing this, demonstrated so graphically, it is easy to understand how damaging pollutants can be in our air, food, and water. All right. So also medical research have shown that disease begins at a cellular level. For instance, healthy cells require 2 mutations to become cancerous. I say again, healthy cells require 2 mutations to become cancerous. So if we understand how, to maintain healthy cell function, it would ultimately be possible to really prevent these mutations from even occurring in our lives. So taking cell salt would not necessarily prevent cancer or cure, all these diseases, but taking charge of, your own health from the inside out, as you do when you learn, which cell salt works best for you in a particular, ailment. It is certainly good, insurance on your part in keeping yourself healthy. I mean, that's how I look at it. And it is made clear with each new scientific discovery, health is a subtle process. So, and, I've been stressing this, along our journey, your input into the process is very critical. You have to take the initiative if you really want to stay healthy, guys. So you need to be, concerned not only, with good nutrition, but also with such issues as pollution, the chemicals in the food that you eat, and everything that really enter your body. You need to put those things on, in question at this time. And that's what I had to do along my journey. But, Dr. Schessler's, cell salts are most effective as part of the holistic approach to wellness, taking as much care as you can in your whole body and its environment. In this way, the cell salt can be a great assistance by helping you really regulate and balance your, biochemical processes at a cellular level. Okay. So perhaps the most, positive aspect of the cell salt is that they can be, self-administered. Again, you take control, you taking things into your own hands. It's nothing different than like a Tic Tac or a vitamin, multivitamin. But with little more than this book and a few dollars of inexpensive remedies that you can find these salts at Walmart, to be honest with you guys. But you know, many of your natural food stores, can treat your illnesses, in the process, expenses overall, sense of health and vitality that you must never have felt before. So I repeat that again. You can effectively treat many of your illnesses in a process, experience an overall sense of health and vitality that you may never have felt before. So in other words, by really going through this process, learning more about these cell salts, different parts of your aspects of your body, what's the real deal? What's the backdrop to these different parts and these signs? Why do they correlate? Why do they work with each other? As you grow through this process, you will be amazed. I promise you. But as we close, guys, there is no mystery surrounding cell salts, and there are many benefits. If you suffer from a common cold, for instance, when you take the appropriate cell salt remedy, you will find the relief that is promised to you, but never is delivered by the over-the-counter medicine that you find on the shelf. It is important to realize that you cannot harm yourself with cell salts. I repeat. It is very important, guys, that you can't OD on cell salts. Okay. Your body will automatically know how much it needs, what it needs, and what to push off to the side as, waste. Okay. So again, just learn and grow, through the process, with yourself. And even your body has no need of the particular salt you may be taking, no damage will be done. Like I mentioned before, cell salt, as you will see as we grow through this process together, performs a specific function in the body vital processes. And all of these functions and processes, are interrelated and interconnected. Like I told you, everything is interconnected. All right. And each person will have characteristic symptoms that spell out his or her need for particular remedies. And that's why I say, it's all about treating a person and, and not the symptoms. Each individual person is different. May have the same sign, but was born at different times, different locations. And, a lot of things play in the backdrop in the scheme of you, what makes up you. Okay. But at the end of the day, guys, trust your own intuition, do your own research, get these books. They would, you will greatly thank me later. But we will continue our series with Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. We'll talk about the cell salt for each sign, the emotional level, the inner working of the sign just a little bit, the physical, which is the outer world, just a little bit, right? And then, I'll share some of my experience with you, hoping that it will help you along your journey as well. But be sure to click the like and subscribe button down below. This has been a pleasure. We're going to have fun with this series, guys. But again, this is Chris with Food for Your Thoughts. Until next time, stay grateful and focused, fam. Peace.